Alright, well, I guess it's time to talk about the Nibelsnarf. Yes, the Nibelsnarf. Now, this is a monster that you either love or you hate. Now, for today's video, I'm actually going to be talking about why people like the Nibelsnarf, as well as why people hate the Nibelsnarf. Now, I'm going to be keeping my opinion on the Nibelsnarf a secret until the end of the video, because I don't want any biasness towards one side or the other. So now that we've gotten that out of the way, it's time to talk about the Nibelsnarf. The Nibelsnarf is a desert monster that likes to swim in the desert sands and wait to spring on its prey. It likes to use the sand to its advantage. It will wait under the sand until you're close enough to attack. Once you are, it will jump through the sand and try to bite you. It can also shoot wind tunnels through its mouth and inflict you with water blight, as well as shooting wind out of its back. That is the basic and brief summary of the Nibelsnarf fight. So now that we've done that, we can get into why people love and hate the Nibelsnarf. Before I get into why people like the Nibelsnarf, I want to get into why people dislike this monster. Well, for starters, it only has about 4 or 5 different attacks that it likes to use. So the fight with this monster can be pretty dull if you know how to avoid these attacks, which isn't too hard to do. And since a lot of its attacks are based on being under the sand, it can be pretty annoying to not be able to hit it or having to wait for it to come out of the sand. And it doesn't help that this fight is extremely easy compared to some of the other monsters that come from Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate. And since you can only fight this monster in the sandy plains in Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate, and in the dunes in Monster Hunter Generations, you'll be fighting this monster in the same area, which can get pretty boring, especially if the fight is already pretty bland. This is an issue that is only present in Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate. Whenever you're fighting it in the sandy plains in Area 10 or 11, it could be a bitch trying to chase it around in such a huge area. Or at least it was a problem for me. Okay, so those are the main complaints of the Nibelsnarf gets. Now let's talk about why people like this monster. I know that I made this fight sound really boring and not original, but that's not true. The Nibelsnarf has some very creative mechanics with it that can make the fight interesting. Remember how I said the Nibelsnarf likes to go under the sand? Well, if you use sonic bombs, you'll be able to blast it out of the sand and get some free hits on it. And if you bring bombs, then you can punish it for trying to hide under the sand and jump towards you. If you place a bomb in its path as it's jumping towards you, then it'll eat the bomb. Now you might be thinking, oh, that's a waste of my bomb. Why would I do that? Well, when it eats the bomb will still explode inside of it. So when the bomb goes off, it will get stunned in the sand. When you're running towards it, you should be able to see this fishing icon appear on your screen. Wait 1 second. Is the game telling me that I can fish this gigantic desert fish out of the sand? Yeah, that's right. You can fish the Nibelsnarf out of the sand. Finally, something fishing related that doesn't suck. Anyway, to be able to fish it out of the sand successfully, you'll want to turn the circle pad counterclockwise and push the A button until the bar is gone. If you manage to get rid of the bar, then you are gifted with this awesome cutscene and the ability to wail on the Nibelsnarf. Also, the Nibelsnarf has some decent weapons and armor. The weapons use water blight and the armor has speed eating +2, punish draw, quick sheathing, and thunder attack down. Okay, I believe that should wrap up the positives and the negatives on the Nibelsnarf. Okay, so now that you've heard both sides of the argument, I'll tell y'all whether I like or hate the Nibelsnarf. Well, I'm a huge fan of this monster. I love how much this monster brings to the table. Now, I can admit that this monster is pretty easy, but I don't agree with people who say that this fight is bland, because this is the only fight that I know of where you're able to punish a monster so badly for trying to spam attacks on you. And if you're having problems waiting for it to get out of the sand, then bring sonic bombs and make it get out of the sand. And if you're tired of getting charged over and over again, then bring some bombs, and that should teach you the lesson. Also, I really like the Nibelsnarf's simplistic design. I know that a lot of people think this monster looks derpy, but I think this was a style choice that the developers went with. I mean, its name is even silly. This is how to make a proper joke monster. Its fight is stupid easy, but because you can take this monster out in so many different ways, and you can punish it so badly, it makes it stand out compared to some of the monsters in the series. So, this is a very special monster that is able to be stupid and fun at the same time. Maybe the Congalala should take some notes from the Nibelsnarf. So, what do you think about the Nibelsnarf? Do you think it's a fun and creative monster, or do you think it's an annoying and bland monster? Also, did I change anyone's mind about the Nibelsnarf through watching this video? And finally, out of these 4 monsters, which one would you like to see for next month's Monster of the Month? Jurgen, Gypceros, Gobel, or the Great Jackie? Let me know in the comments below, or you can let me know on my official Twitter, which is RLVOfficial. Anyway, thank you guys for watching this video. My name's Ryan Kelly, and I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.